Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fabulous Friday. Welcome back to Just Keep Parenting. We're happy that you joined us and uh, share it with somebody who needs a little pick me up this morning as far as parenting, relationships, any kind of relationships. I had somebody comment this week on YouTube that she doesn't have any children, and these are good things. Good concepts that she uses with her partner, with people at work. And that's the idea behind it, right? We use it with children here at the lab school because that's kind of our first start with them. But it really is about relationships. And so I appreciate Marianne giving that shout out, right? Today we're going to talk about the last power of self-control, and that is the power of unity. And the power of unity focuses on striving for connection rather than trying to be special, right? And so I've had a lot of time to think about this week. We've had some situations in the classroom that have pushed me to think outside the box a little bit more. I've had some conversations with my student teacher that have also done that. And so I just want to introduce it and then chat about it for a minute and then give you some things to think about today. But as we think about the power of unity, right? And if we think about, are we more worried about being special, right? Or are we worried about having a connection? And we had a little situation yesterday in the classroom where there was a question about noticing, right? And I do notice children on a regular basis for their processes, but I don't notice children as far as empty praise, right? Because empty praise is more like, oh, nice job, way to go, that was awesome, right? And there's nothing to it, right? However, if you tack something onto it and you say, wow, that was awesome, you worked so hard at that and look what you did, that really paid off for you, didn't it, right? That becomes something that the child can then start to use as feedback, right? But when we just say, woohoo, you did such a great job today, it's kind of like somebody coming up and saying, wow, I loved your talk, loved your speech. Oh, what did you like about it? See that emptiness feel, right? And so as we think about that, one of the things that we're trying to do is connect. We want to connect with people. We want children to connect with each other, right? And when we just try to make them feel special, you're so smart. Okay, so is everybody else, right? So if we can praise them on the process rather than on the product, right? Then that helps them to start to look at the whole thing around them rather than just ego-centered. And we have a problem with that, right? In our world, developmentally, 4-year-olds are supposed to be ego-centered, right? Developmentally, 16 and 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds are supposed to be ego-centered, right? But then we come out of that, hopefully. Most of us have skills and people around us who help us to work outside of that, right? So then we're looking at others and trying to connect rather than just trying to be the best or the special, the most special. I almost said the specialist. Anyway, that's kind of what I got out of this week. And I've been thinking about our educational system. Today in class, we're talking about the Ophelia syndrome. And the Ophelia syndrome really is about connecting with people, right? And thinking for yourself, right? Even though it talks about being an individual thinker, the only way that we can do that is we start to connect with people and listen to people, right? And feel what we're thinking. So Dr. Bailey talks a little bit about this, and she says, we want to feel valued and connected. The power of unity is about this feeling that we are each bound to one another and at the same time have unique contributions to make, right? And so it's not about being the best at something, but it's about recognizing what I'm bringing to the puzzle. Because the puzzle is amazing. The puzzle is beautiful when we get all the pieces there. But until we get all the pieces, right, until we figure out what our contribution is, until we figure out what God has given us to make us special, but not just by ourselves, but with everybody around us, then that's where that piece of connectedness happens. When we truly connect with something or someone other than ourselves, we are transformed into caring, compassionate, self-disciplined individuals. In oneness, there is no one to fight. The power is truly the mother of all the powers, encompassing them all, right? So the power of unity really does take all of the other powers and kind of is the mother of them all. I love that. I love that concept. She asks a good question. She says, do I want to be special, right? Or do I want to connect, right? And so as we're thinking about the soft skills that we're trying to teach these children, right, to be able to go out and get a job later, to go out and be a contributing citizen of society, those are those soft skills we're talking about. Can they connect? Can they communicate with each other, right? And so as I think about, I'll own this one, as I think about, the pandemic that's kind of upon us as far as anxiety and depression, I just wonder if somehow we have contributed to that, right? By using this, you're so special, you're such a good kid, without giving them any reasons of why, right? So they can focus on the process. I think we compare, right? We compare ourselves to lots of people. And that's why in the classroom, you'll never hear me say, oh, I like how Johnny's sitting. Oh, I like how Johnny's listening, right? Because then all of a sudden everybody's looking at Johnny, trying to figure out, well, how come she didn't say anything about me? Am I not good enough, right? And so as we talk about the process versus the product, right, then we can say, wow, you guys, look at this. You all are doing it. Kiss your brains. You're all looking at me. If you're looking at me, then I know you're listening, right? There's that piece of noticing that is still there, but it's not trying to separate children from one another. It's not trying to pick out children from one another. It's trying to come together as a group of children, a unified group, a classroom, that classroom of caring, the community of caring children, right? Anyway, so this week as you think about that, what are you doing to contribute to that power of unity, to that feeling of connectedness rather than to the feeling of always being right, always being special, right? I want you to think about these things. For 5 minutes or longer if you have it, but for at least 5 minutes, just be with your children, or be with your spouse, or be with your friend, right? Just be with them. Don't have an agenda. Just be with them. See what happens. The other thing is when you're stressed out, ask yourself, am I trying to be special? Am I trying to be better? Am I trying to be right? Or do I just want to connect? Am I trying to connect with this person? I had a cool experience yesterday with my student teacher about that. So if you want to know about it, hit me up on YouTube and I'll explain it to you. Do I just want to connect? Right? And then the third one, my friends, is to celebrate your successes, right? Change that behavior and celebrate your successes. Decide upon 2 things that you want to accomplish today. Just two, right? And then after you do them, honor yourself and say, I did it, right? I did it. And remember to describe, not judge, but to describe to yourself what you did. So there you have it, the power of unity, the mother of all the powers. And I hope that we'll seek for that. I think our world really needs that right now, as we're, kind of on 2 different sides of things, on everything. If we can just figure out how to connect rather than be special, rather than be right all the time. Anyway, good luck. Share it with whoever you would like to. Give us a shout out on YouTube. Give me some comments. I'd love to respond to them. If you want to know about the student teacher's experience, shoot me off a comment and I'll be happy to answer it. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Just Keep Parenting.